And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our NECC playoffs here at Valpo Overwatch. I'm your host, Adam. I'm here with my co-host.
Yeah.
And today, for the first round, Valpo, the 4 seed, the 4 seed, is going to be taking on the 5 seed SVSU. Really excited, honestly. If we take a quick look at our roster today, here we're going to have Fusick is actually out for game 1 right now, so we're going to have Atlas at our tank. We have Lycabus and L as our DPS. Meepo and NH Cool Stuff are going to be rounding out our supports here. Moving on to our map selection here. Obviously for map 1, we're going to be moving to Samoa. We're going to be moving to Control. And our two bans for today. Roadhog is going to be banned, and Wooyoung is going to be banned. So you're going to see this backline actually swap up a little bit for SVSU. If we take us into the game really quick, you can see that they're going to run Baptiste Lucio, which I like, right? Baptiste kind of is not your typical flex support that you like to run, right? Lucio, staple main. We're going to see NH Cool Stuff as well on it, so definitely nothing surprising there, but I feel like it should be an exciting match, especially because we have not seen Atlas on tank yet this season, right? This is kind of an emergency sub, happened just today, but should be exciting at least. I know that Atlas has that kind of has a lot of experience on tank as well, right? Obviously, you know, Fusick being our main one, but definitely stepping up to the plate today, as you're going to see immediately Bo Jiden teleporting in on the Reaper there from the side.
Not just Bo Jiden Pog.
That's so fire. But yeah, Bo Jiden's going to go in, but Atlas falls a little bit low and is going to die. The TP out with the Wraith is going to be huge because L is just going to get caught out there, and 3 are going to fall for Valpo. Lycabus supports the TP, yeah. I feel like going for the pick there is really nice on the side, but the moment that Atlas kind of falls off or gets too much damage kind of bursted out from that side, it's really, really rough to try to chase that. So Valpo just immediately going to regroup. Atlas sees it early on in the match. I like this. If you're going to make a swap, make it now, right? You don't want to commit too much ult charge.
And a little tip from Bryce, Ben was absent yesterday at practice, not due to the same reason as today, had to study, and so Atlas was playing tank at practice yesterday. Not that they knew Ben was going to have to miss some of this series here at the beginning, but they do have experience yesterday with Atlas running tank. Gonna see Bo Jiden liking.
Yeah, I like this. L taking a little bit of a less step back, right? Give a little bit more support to Atlas, especially playing the Ramatra, who has a lot of sustain, has a lot of damage pushing up. Lycabus immediately going to jump in. The cleanse is going to be huge. Atlas falling down to 114 health. Still going to be able to back off on point, though, but Lycabus is the first person to fall. Getting in a little bit too deep, but not being able to cash out kind of on the damage that they wanted. Valpo not also getting the, not being able to capture the point, so they're going to have to still try and fight for this. It's so low. They do step off point for a little bit, so Valpo gets the capture, but Death Blossom in the backline is going to be able to pick off L. Meatball's going to trade a second kill, and NH Cool Stuff's kind of getting separated from the team. You really have to watch where these supports position themselves because Zarya is getting so much use out of that area of effect, and then the ult drops as well. Atlas does have pull at least a little bit, so you're going to pop the Ramatra ult, you're going to pop the gates as well to sustain out, and you have capture on point, so even though Atlas gets bursted out here, you at least get 20% off, and you don't waste time on that clock. Even though the fight really doesn't go in your favor, as Lycabus spawns in and immediately gets caught out again, which is going to be really rough. You at least give yourself a little bit of space and you don't lose too much percentage.
Yeah, still have beat up for the side of Valpo. Coming up on that Soldier ultimate as well could be huge. Not exactly the most mobility on the side of SVSU. Nothing support-wise coming up for them either. That Baptiste ultimate, even if it does come up, isn't really a support ultimate. It's more of a damage increaser. Is not really going to help in that regard. 91% here on Soldier. Going to pop the Lucio all early to get in.
Get aggressive. You have Zarya separated. No ult. There we go. That's a good pick. L immediately being able to trade off on the side. Atlas pulls down. Meepo gets the headshot on Baptiste. They are going to trade one, but L with the double kill on this point, and he is just shredding right now. A quick boot from NH Cool Stuff is going to send Geek flying off the map, and that's the first one fight for Valpo, I feel like, pretty cleanly.
Yeah, gonna have to invest the Lucio ult, but not that bad because J-Rod Nasty's not even close to his. Only about a 10% lead really on NH Cool Stuff when he just popped his, so not really gonna have to worry about that. You do have Sojourn all up for SVSU, so the supports and the DPS are gonna have to be careful they don't get caught out. It gets popped early into this fight.
Yep, I mean, you're going to work to the left here. Atlas popping up with the ult. Zarya falling extremely low, though, but Geek just getting one right click on the back line. That's 3 down for the side of Valpo. Atlas is at least going to be able to trade one, but again, another team wipe right there with the capture, 95%, and I don't think anybody is going to be able to touch that point before it captures here, and that is going to be first map going to SVSU.
Yeah. Unfortunate that when the ults kind of came online there for SVSU, the few of them that did that, Alice couldn't get up in there and take out, was kind of preoccupied with the Zarya, couldn't get to the Baptiste to eliminate the healing, and but you know, not bad for someone being on the emergency tank here in the first game you've got filling in. So yeah. Especially with the role Fusic plays for this team.
Yeah. They're still like kind of feeling out the positioning. I feel like a lot of those fights that went well for Valpo, which mainly is like 1.5, I feel like, went extremely well because they were able to split off Zarya from that team, right? So you have Atlas and your supports who all play up pretty aggressively in comparison to a lot of supports we see in the league. Meepo and NH Cool Stuff like getting active, right? So when you get active like that, you walk up with Atlas, it's all about splitting their tank. You cannot let their tank kind of 5v5 you when you have your supports in such a dangerous position. So the success that they have really comes from the positioning that they're taking. I feel like they can swap it up a little bit. Bojang immediately TPing to the back as Reaper. No Wraith mode though, is going to get healed up to full, and that's going to give the space for SVSU to move on to point. Atlas still shielding from the left, but L is going to look for some kind of flank. Forces the Kiriko cleanse out, which is a huge cooldown because now Kiriko is going to have to dump out as well. Lycopus does fall as the first one though, and L gets caught out on the second, right from the right click right there. Now all that's left is 3 people on the team, 2 supports, and Atlas just sitting on the point right now. They are forced back because Vidi is full charge and just shredding them. You're going to be able to grab this health pack, but I mean, with 3 left, all that you're looking for is some kind of swift step. Cooldown is just not there for you though. Meepo is going to fall, and Valpo loses that first fight and first capture.
Yeah, we're going to see Lycopus go off of the Cassidy and onto the Reaper, which is something we see L usually play when he comes in. We kind of see Lycopus pretty much stay solo onto the Genji.
Yeah.
But going to switch away from it, you know, with the Reaper and the Zarya. It's not exactly the best of character to fight into that.
Yeah, it's rough because obviously you have a good target on Sojourn, but you have kind of a rough time in the Lucio and Zarya, and this team kind of likes to play front to back. The only person that's really splitting for them is Reaper, so you're not going to really have a target there. I feel like the swap from Genji is pretty nice, but yeah, I mean, we see this guy on flex support or flex DPS, but it's usually just Genji. As you're going to see immediately a Death Blossom in the back, that's going to be a double kill right there. Does force the Suzu out, but I feel like Valpo is just stuck in this corner now that they're trying to play for anything. Meepo gets caught out, trying to look for the pick on Geek. L is just trying to get anything, but you can see they are just grouped as 5 and walking down Valpo when they try to split these.
Yeah, gonna have B up for this next fight. Gates ready for SVSU, and the Zarya Grav is very close, so gonna have to be careful that they do not group up because I imagine they invest that pretty early when they get it here, being already at 70%, Valpo having none and no control. Gates ready for Valpo as well, so like we talk about pretty often, we like to see Valpo use the ults to initiate and get them going. Great damage out of L, almost finds that, but this Reaper in the backline.
I mean, there's the Gates open immediately. I feel like you just gotta walk past Reaper at this point because you have to pull in. Zarya's gonna be able to ult Atlas as well, full charge pushing in. Lycopus gonna get the first kill, but Meepo trades off in the backline. You gotta be careful. You are really split right now because Lycopus finds the second one. You pop the tag visor, but you're way too stepped up as L. He's immediately gonna get bursted down, and Vidi just runs this fight because Bojang is taking out all the damage that they need, and that's the last right click, and Valpo falls again, and that's gonna be first map. Samoa going over to SVSU.
Yeah, just kind of seemed like even when we switched to the Zarya Reaper, we didn't have the same level of coordination with the getting the bubble onto Reaper as what we saw a lot out of SVSU, and just kind of absorbing that damage. And then once Zarya gets that 100 charge, it just kind of becomes a brick wall. It's very difficult to get through.
It became an issue kind of where Bojang TPing back as Reaper. Even though he was solo TPing, he was pulling so much pressure from that team, right? We talked about kind of splitting their tank and the positioning being important to winning these fights. And with their Reaper just kind of constantly TPing back, half of Valpo would turn around and look at him, and the other half would walk forward. Yeah. And I feel like you have to change one of them. It's really hard to play into Reaper and ignore him, right? Like if you're pushing on the point, unless it's crunch time like we saw in that very last fight where point is about to be captured, you need to walk past him. you mainly want to pull back your tank. You want to pull back your front line to be able to make sure, force that Wraith out of him, make sure that he backs up out of position before you walk back forward again. I feel like Valpo was just kind of splitting, and tank supports were walking forward. DPS would turn on Reaper, and because of that, you didn't have enough damage in your front line because you're outmatched the DPS, and you didn't have enough sustain in your back line to be able to handle Reaper, and it's kind of worst of both worlds, and at that point, it made these fights look helpless.
Yeah, we are actually going to cut to a short little break here while we wait for the next game to come in. Not sure if Fusick is going to be back. We heard rumblings that he possibly would show up in game 2 or 3, but they got to go through all the bans and picks and maps and all that. So we'll get back to you when the second game is starting.
Go Valpo!
And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our Map 2 of this Valpo Overwatch NECC playoffs versus SVSU. We're going to be going to Esperanza, going to a push map for Map 2. SVSU taking first map 2-0 pretty cleanly as well. Valpo kind of finding issues with their footing there. But you're going to see moving into this match, biggest thing that we found from last game was the Reaper was pulling a lot of pressure, so Valpo just decided to ban Reaper. Right, there is no Reaper and there is no Hazard this game either. So kind of taking out two pretty big threats back to back. Right, the Reaper ban coming first and then Hazard coming right after, knowing about the Reaper ban. So I feel like that's pretty discerning. But now that Reaper is off the board, the monkey is live. like Winston is definitely available for Atlas. I feel like this is a great pick here going into this push map, especially just being able to absorb this pressure. But you're going to see how fast SVSU wants to group because they have the Ramacha, they have the trade. The healing's going to get blocked by the shielding there, but Atlas kind of falling down to half health as well. You're going to go chunk for chunk. L immediately TPing on this Tracer in the backline, trying to absorb a little bit more space. Lycabus is back on the Genji that we've seen him, enjoy many times before. But you see Valpo, with the rollout and with the speed that they have in their comp, right, with having Winton, they just absorb so much. Excuse me, I gotta stop saying absorb pressure. That's my third time in a row I'm saying absorb pressure. What I was gonna say is they just take space, right? You immediately jump up, you take space, you get robot first push. You're gonna be able to work under this. Lycabus gets a huge dash, gonna be able to force the lamp out there in the back, but Atlas does fall pretty early in the fight. You have to be worried because that May wall is pretty dirty. And as we see and notice on the side, Fusic does start playing Overwatch, but we got one match to play right now because Bo Jiden is going to be able to pick off two. Obviously, Bo Jiden, I can't stop saying his name. He was the Reaper from last match, so obviously finding his footing on Cassidy, just picking it up again. You're going to see a lot of strength and already having Deadeye. Right, first person in the match to have an ult. So
by a solid margin too, honestly.
Yes, yeah, like 20% is the closest, or excuse me, 5% is the closest now for Valpo, but that was about 10% ago. But you're gonna see NECC stuff have beat, gonna be able to drop it up top, hits everybody as well, and you just have you have Atlas on deep being able to pull. Lycabus drops the deflect though a little bit too early, and the Deadeye is going to be able to pick him off. Meepo picks off the second one, but Bo Jiden is just going ham on this backline. That is a triple for him. Does fall to NECC stuff, but the fight is completely over. Meepo is just in the back waiting for some kind of swift step.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen much come out of the Tracer pick. About to have ultimate though, so might be able to find a pick early here. Great thing for Valpo is they've really not advanced the robot too far. Yeah. They haven't even hit the first little, not really a checkpoint. I mean, I guess it unlocks the front spawns, but the first little point.
Oh, that's nice. You force slam. Now's the time to bomb. Now's the time to pulse bomb. If you have and we just have a DC, so it looks like they are gonna pause this match really quick. Stop moving the robot. There we go. Yeah, you can. We're gonna move back to us really quick because we do have a pause. It looks like Zippy DC'd, which is never fun.
What was that there?
That was their May.
Yeah.
It's really rough because May I think was at 80% on ultimate charge. DCs in Overwatch are always like really unfun because it's so hard to try and figure out what you're gonna do with ult charge, right? Like most of the time when you come back in, it doesn't save your progress in a lot of custom matches, so you can't figure it out. But
trying to sub, I don't know.
Yeah, they're subbing in a new.
Is that legal for Overwatch?
I think so.
Okay. I
think in the chance of a DC, because it's never good idea. Like you always want that person to be in because you don't lose 100% on ult charge. Like you can't just DC somebody. So I'm pretty sure this is legal because I know that I've seen this before in the past. Whether that was legal or not is up for debate. But I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world.
No one seems to be complaining. So
either way, I'm gonna be honest. Like he was what's it called? Geek was playing more of like that supporter role, being able to play with the 4v4s. Really, right now, Valpo is struggling against Bo. Okay, Geek, is back in. Did lose all the ult charge, though. That does feel rough.
Not much you can do about that, but I'm sure that's probably in the NECC rulebook because I'm sure this is probably not a uncommon occurrence.
Yes. I mean, DCs are always bound to happen at some point. It's just a bit unlucky for Geek. We do it. But, no, I mean, I was going to say, Geek is playing fine, but really the DPS that they have to watch out for is Bojide and Pog1. This guy is a monster. He has been starting and ending all of these fights for Valpo. They just have a really hard time getting onto him as Atlas kind of stuck in this top. You really have to be careful about staggering any kind of fight here because you're going to force the lamp out from L, but it's just not going to be another pick. I mean, I feel like our burst is just not strong enough right now into this team comp because realistically, you can't dash on Cassidy because he has concussion grenade, right? May, you can't burst because of shielding. Yeah, and Baptiste has lamp, right? And Lucio, you're not going to touch. Like, we're picking a very mobile, heavy, like burst-heavy comp into a team that you can't focus. Like, Baptiste is the closest person I feel like you can focus outside of Cassidy. But even then, like, it's not a solo game, right? And Lycabus falls again to another Deadeye on the corner. I'm surprised. I've not seen him fall to this many Deadeyes ever before because you're going to see him walk on point. Atlas is going to be able to use the ult to just mech reset. You have a lot of damage coming out of Meepo and NECC cool stuff in the backline. They're just taking the damage roll themselves because now they're forced up to the side. You're going to be able to bump off a little bit. May tries to step up but is immediately going to get shredded down by Meepo and just has to back up before a pick. Lycabus is back on the map now, but Atlas, you know, is coming out of spawn. No ult, no remech available to them as this robot pushes, and Valpo is kind of just looking a little bit rough because you have 3 ults, but you've been sitting on 2 of them for a minute. Right, there we go. Pop the gates immediately, look for the fight. Atlas immediately jumping up over the top. Does get choked out a little bit. He's going to be able to force the icicle. You have Ramatra in this corner, so it might be the time to try and force this because NH Cool Stuff pulled off a little bit of space, but he just had too much damage taken. Bojide takes up another double kill. J-Rod finishes off the 3rd one, and Valpo again with another fight that they at least initiated this time, not being able to focus targets the way that they want to, just not finding enough damage.
Yeah, and maybe you know, maybe I don't know how the Kiriko ult works fully, but it's not like an applied effect, like once you're in it and then you walk out of it. Like, you have to stay. It fully stays, but doesn't stay.
It's like a temporary effect most of the time. If you use the speed, it lasts for long enough that when you like bounce out of it, you should be able to get a kill. Okay. So when that's why Kiriko is really strong for initiating, as L immediately gets the first pick. Being able to start off this fight with a kill here is huge because Lycabus and NH Cool Stuff are now diving the backline together with the damage that you have from L, that first pick, and this is the fight you want. Right now, you take the fight that you win because you dove back as 3, you had the target prior, you focus out, and you're able to get that pick. That's what we're looking for.
Try and stop me now.
Yeah, front spawns were still activated though, so they're going to be pretty close on this contest. They're actually all just kind of sitting there. Maybe looking for a full flank as the team. They're going to take the stairs and go bridge.
There it is. I mean, you're looking for space. You try to create a little bit there. You're going to have the beat and the lamp drop down. Lycabus also pops ult in the backline, but he's just going to get dead-eyed. That one you can't really avoid when you have to pop that ult. You got to have to try and go in, right? If you don't have the depth, like, it's a little bit rough. You're going to have the remake drop out, but Atlas just gets shredded right as he ults right there. You're going to see Mega pick up a triple kill right here in the back of Bojide and pick up the 4th one, and that is completely done. I mean, you went 2 for 2 ults, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but then you just didn't cash out on any of them. It feels rough.
Yeah, gonna have Yates coming back up pretty soon at 86%. Baptiste ult is ready to go. J-Rod Nasty getting pretty low, but it's just gonna be that Lucio who can kind of escape whenever he wants.
I like this swap from L. I feel like it's harder for Soldier kind of falls to the issue of he's really easy to get on sometimes, right, with diving, but I feel like the comp that SVSU is running right now makes it kind of hard for them to dive on L if he doesn't get shredded out, right? Their biggest issue is now range, but I feel like you can play that a little bit more effectively around the comp that you have. So I like this setup, but he just steps up a little too far while Atlas checks the window and he's immediately going to get shot down. Again, a little bit of a miscommunication, I feel like, coming out of the front line there and kind of not knowing where he's going to bap up. Meepo going to be able to open the gates, but immediately falls down. They're trying to look for the pick on Bojide, and they're going to dive, and you're going to be able to get that kill. NH Cool Stuff, and all 3 of them are there. Atlas does not have a remake as he gets knocked out, and Lycabus falls first. Atlas falls second, and all that's left is NH Cool Stuff on point. He's looking for some kind of pick on the back line, forces the lamp out, gets the boost up, but it's not going to be enough. He falls again, and now 95% approaching final objective. They are going to swap. Lycabus is not going to go on Genji anymore. Going to go Hanzo, so they're focusing on more of a just a 5v5 comp, right? You swap to the Ramatra as well. You're off the Diva. You are just looking to fight barrier to barrier here. But you're going to see Mei is immediately going to start that off. Atlas is going to be able to swap forms at least a little bit, and the cleanse with the speed is going to be huge. Lycabus picks off the first one, but another Deadeye with another kill. He is converted on every Deadeye this match so far as Ramatra with ult walks to the back line, picks up a double kill. Now Valpo is down again. It's a 2v5 on point, or 2v4 on point, excuse me. Meepo going to be able to cleanse and swift step back out, but realistically, you're setting yourself up for one more fight. You don't have your tank yet, though. Alex is still peeling around the corner, going to be able to get up there, and now you have to play SVSU has to kind of make the decision there. You have the beat drop from NH Cool Stuff to try and create a little bit of position. The lamp is tossed out in the back, but Giant finds another pick, and here comes the Ramatra ult from SVSU. That's 3 down for the side of Valpo, and they haven't converted yet. Lycabus is still looking for 1 up in the top side, but he's not going to be able to find it. The robot is just pushing in, and that's going to be map 2. Esperanza going to SVSU so far in a 2-0 lead for SVSU.
Yeah, just the damage just hasn't seemed to been there, where it's not enough to burst out enough of them at once to really turn it. It's kind of the issue we saw in game number 1 as well, right? Obviously the Reaper wasn't there, but still, I think they did a great job of SVSU with their picks they had going into the Mei and some of the things that can kind of sustain a little bit, and especially with Mei's ability to heal in the iceberg. She didn't really go down. The only flaw there was the disconnect, actually, it seemed. Yeah. So good to see if possibly a tank swap here, a little bit of a roster swap for game 3.
I mean, there's a lot of things, right, that Valpo can correct, but the easiest one is just comp. I feel like we can't run dive burst into a team that has all health bars over like 250.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at that point, there's not much we can do. We're not going to find success fighting them, and it kind of leaves a lot of our, front line out to dry for the most part because they just don't have the damage to back up, and it feels like all those fights are just losing through barriers, right? So, biggest thing Valpo can do right now is make a change to comp. They're going to swap up a little bit. We are throwing Fusick in for this last match. He was able to get online, so glad to see him here. Right, so it's going to be Lycabus Atlas as our DPS, Fusick as our tank, Meepo and NH Cool Stuff as our supports going into this map 3. But we are going to take a slight break here in the booth, and we will catch you guys when we have our map and the bans. And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our Map 3 Valpo Overwatch NECC playoffs versus SVSU. We're going to be moving to Servasa on Map 3, right? We've seen Flashpoints, Map 3, classic. Usually we don't see Push Map 2, but so, you know, we're back to what we usually feel like. But now, Valpo, as we talked about pre-break, Fusick is back in. So Fusick is back in. Atlas got moved back to DPS, and although Ball just suffered a couple of nerfs, Fusick is going on Ball. Like they are feeling it right now. So
Confident.
you know what? I like it. Honestly, you gotta bring a little energy. Right now, Valpo being down 2-0 in the series, right? You gotta have a little confidence if you want to get back in this game and start up a reverse sweep. You're gonna see Bojiden back on the Reaper. Reaper obviously not banned anymore on this map, so we'll see. Ramatra is banned and Venture is banned. So both picks we saw, right? Obviously, Vidi going on Zarya, Ramatra for these last couple of maps, and Atlas being the Venture player. So I feel like that was definitely a targeted ban for a reason. Reaper Tiki is going to be here. Atlas does eat a shotgun shell to the face. They're going to have to pop Rage Mode, but you're going to have Fusick already diving in the backline. You just have this pressure that creating with the slide around. Going to have to force Kiriko to at least move around the dash in, and that's going to be the first pick for Valpo. Vidi falling down. You're already seeing the change of pace here for Valpo. They are just getting aggressive with it. You see, this is the team that they practice with, right? This is the aggressiveness that we like to see, because Fusick, Atlas, and Lycopus are just flying around in this backline. And then you have Meepo and NH Cool Stuff playing their normal game that they do. You're going to immediately force a swap out of Bojiden to Sombra, right, to be able to just kind of mess up that ball a little bit more.
Getting off Zarya onto the Junker Queen, so actually a double swap. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this. The best time to swap is now, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to wait too much time, but you're going to see the hack immediately right there take a lot of space. Fusick at least going to be able to shred out, and Atlas trying to just make sure that Sombra doesn't, you know, assassinate somebody in your backline, trying to hold off a little bit. They're just 5-pointing this map right in front. Bojiden falling really, really low, but Meepo flying through the air with the, you know, flying punch right there is going to be able to finish it off, and that's another DPS down, and Fusick and Lycopus dashing through. They're going to drop the beat late already, but it's already a 5v3 on point. I feel like this is really heavily Valpo favored, as Fusick is going to get a double kill in the backline. All that's left are 2 on point now, and there's nothing that SVSU can really do. They're going to bounce out Kiriko with no step and Vidi with no more cooldowns, and that's another clean wipe. Bojiden jumps back onto the objective, but it's way too late. Not only is that a stagger kill, that's first objective going to Valpo, and that's a complete tone shift as to the last 2 maps.
And we're about to see 5 ultimates online for Valpo and just the gates out of the side of SVSU. So if they, you know, don't accidentally dump everything all at once, which is something we really never see out of them, it's going to be really hard for SVSU to get back in here, being second to this point.
Yep, yeah. I mean, just don't panic. You have the gates open immediately for SVSU. You're going to have to play this. Atlas just Wraith Mode. You're going to be able to back up a little bit. Valpo playing with the space, giving Death Blossom kind of the room to work, but they just spaced it way too well. Dash in from Fusick as well, going to be able to lay the bombs. Gets hacked immediately. Does get saved out by the Kiriko cleanse, though. Lycopus is looking for some kind of angle to ult in this backline. I don't think he'll need to do it, though. Does get hacked. There are a lot of hack targets here for this side, but the ult immediately coming from the side. The beat drop is going to be huge for NH Cool Stuff. That's going to keep them alive for the moment. The hack as well going on NH Cool Stuff, going to force them in the back, but Fusick and Lycopus are just going to absorb a lot of space in this backline. Atlas gets one, Fusick gets the second one, and now they're trying to just focus on this Junker Queen. Junker Queen kind of dive in this back. Fusick being able to win the fight, or not Fusick, excuse me, NH Cool Stuff winning the fight in the backline. J-Rod at least going to be able to trade, but Atlas takes out the tank there, and capture is going to go to Valpo. SVSU was able to grab 24% off of that kind of scuffle, but now Valpo has the capture, going to be able to get their people back up, and I feel like this is a better setup for them that you want. But we were laughing about, oh, they won't do it, but that is all 5 ults blown.
Yeah. All 5 blown, but, you know, on the side of SVSU, really only the Sombra all ready to go, so not even that,
EMP is
that
huge,
bad.
though. We have to be careful. If you do get all 5 EMP, there it is. Hack immediately, and that's going to create the space. Meepo and NH Cool Stuff both falling down right there. Fusick just kind of dashing around the side, being able to use the barrier that he gets from adaptive barriers to shield off most of that damage. Atlas Wraith Molding to be able to get out, but Lycopus just on the point, gets hacked and just gets destroyed. Fusick as well, and that's a capture back to SVSU off the back of their ult economy.
Oh, that one was hacked. Got full chase there, though, but
that's rough.
Yeah, Valpo with about 25% lead here, so SVSU kind of extended up at the moment. Definitely got to be careful they don't get caught out. Gonna have Junker Queen ultimate, Death Blossom ready. Beat and Gates almost there. Really going to be the hamster all out of the side of Valpo for this next push in. They're going to have to, or they're going to lose the lead here at this point, but going to use some aerial denial out of the hamster to pin the SVSU over here on the left side. And they're kind of locked in. Not going to be able to get a Junker Queen will contest, and there's the B out of J-Rod Nasty and the Death Blossom. It's not actually going to find anyone yet.
Good spacing, good spacing. Be careful about Atlas. Cleanse is going to be huge for Miko. That's going to keep him alive, and then the gates are open for SVSU. You force another ultimate out in this fight, which is huge. You do fall down too, but you have capture on point. Right,
yeah,
like you're gonna force him at least to 93%. So if you want to touch this again, you gotta go now. Right, this is Flashpoint, but you have Fusic on ball. Like this is the speed that you want because he's just gonna roll in right now, and you have a TP from Reaper and the dash from Meepo. I feel like this is great because you have the beat drop. The hack is gonna be huge to be able to shut it down, and the anti is giant. Fusic is going to be able to fall down. The ults are just way too much to shred that. Like a bus also falls. NH cool stuff being able to trade that back out. Atlas pops Death Blossom, but it's not gonna be enough. The hack or the virus is just gonna be way too much, and now all that's left is Meepo on point trying to just contest and deny, but not gonna be enough. Overtime is ticking down, and that is second point going over to SVSU. It's gonna make this 1-1, and this is a game. They are not gonna give away this game easy.
Yeah, definitely good timing there on SVSU with that Junker Queen ult. That kind of spelled the end of that one for Valpo. They're able to pick off Fusic right away and get him out of there. Make it really rough, even with Ball's escapability. Made it difficult. He's in a bit of a pickle at the moment. Support's keeping him online. But Sombra's got him hacked, and there's a Reaper on his back. Uh-oh.
Sombra's definitely now found kind of the angle that she wants to play at now, because I feel like you were having kind of the issues of getting picked off a little earlier, just jumping in too fast, but like us with a Reflector and be able to pick off one, that's two dead. They are on point, but there's a kind of have to back up now because you don't have the numbers advantage. Like I was saying, I feel like Sombra's kind of found the spacing that you want to play now, because that hack on top of the anti, not only do you lose complete barrier from Lucia ult, right, off the hack, but then you also lose all your health, right? You don't have any support for your backline with the anti. So those kind of lineups are really, really nice for timing this team and being able to take out Fusic and burst them. But we're seeing Fusic use his area denial in a great spot. Again, Junker Queen kind of gets forced out through the window there, not in the spot that they want to be in, as they're going to get chunked out. Fusic dives in immediately with Lycabus and the ult in the backline. Although, kind of an awkward spot. At least going to be able to get one reset, though, in the dash in for the second one. Looking for the kill on Reaper. Reaper going to have to Wraith mode out, but it's enough for Atlas to pick up a double kill there. Fusic almost dying in the backline. Meepo picking up that last kill, and that's a team kill for Valpo, pushing on off of the back of Lycabus's ult.
Yeah, going to be careful though for this one. Geek does have Death Blossom. It'll be up by this next fight. Both support ults should be there to join it. So Valpo's gonna have to make sure their supports don't get cut out here. Meepo will be able to get away. It'll be a little harder for NH Cool Stuff. Not able to TP, but
That's
early pick by Fusic.
That's no gates for this fight. Like that's giant. If you delay it anymore, right, obviously Kiriko's going to be able to switch that back, but for now, right, when you're trying to force out any of these kind of things, yeah, there's beat, and they can't drop the gates with it. Fusic is kind of stuck in the corner here, but the gates are going to be open for Valpo trying to trade on the side. Meepo is going to go down, but at least gets the ultimate off first. NH Cool Stuff trying to back in, help out a little bit. Atlas can be forced in Wraith mode, back up. This fight is really awkward, and Kiriko has enough time to be able to get back. Atlas does have Death Blossom, though, so could look for an angle around the backside, especially if he sees it, but Wraith just doesn't come up in time. They are going to get picked, and Valpo just needs to back up now, right? You're not in danger. Yeah, 99%, right? You're going to be in overtime next capture. They're just reaching 50, right? So you have, realistically, you have 2 more fights if you speed up now and fight.
And no support ultimate's going to be ready. Both have to be blown for SVSU to stop that point from going over to Valpo. Going to have beat. Gonna have that area denial, so gonna be able to push them out with Hamster. Let them try to
oh, he got hacked right after it. Yeah, he's just gonna get shredded here. The beat is huge, though. It's gonna be able to save him, and now you're seeing the support ult economy work out a little bit, but Fusic just gets shredded again because he got hacked, and then the EMP is not gonna let him out. That is just huge. Geek with the double kill, Bo Jiden with the double as well. Both DPS are picking up, and the util is just crazy for SVSU. It just shut him down. Their champs are just so dependent on their abilities. Sombra is getting so much value in this round.
Yeah. Oh, that's rough, because it's hard to find Sombra with her ability to just throw TP and get out, even if she gets low.
Yeah.
I think SVSU has definitely identified that they are keeping her alive. That has been the key to success.
Yep.
No ultimate's going to be ready here, though, so Valpo is going to have straight up fight first to this point. Music swapped over to the Diva, which we love to see that out of him. I don't know if Hamster was the pick with the nerfs you talked about earlier. I'm sure that, you know, he still played a good Hamster, but put yourself out of this match is never good. Atlas will fall, along with both supports and like Bus. Music, and this will go over to SVSU. They need to capture this one to end the game. If Valpo gets it, it'll extend it to that third and final point.
Yeah,
It's the fifth point, but
it's rough. I mean, you dive backline for backline, right? And you were able to kill Lucio, but Meepo just didn't have Swift Step cooldown up, and Meepo also falls, and it's cool stuff, you know, so you go 2 for 1, and now you don't have any healing on point. It's a really rough fight as Atlas drops down but gets hacked, so not going to be able to Wraith mode in that kind of second that he got hacked. And they're just going to punish him instantly. You're going to see this 5 is way too strong. Fusik trying to just dive on this point. The gates are going to be open, but the beat drops for SVSU. They're trying to make a play on this side. You have Lycabus in the back, but he's just going to die instantly. Now they collapsed on him, and you're playing just supports, but the EMP is just so huge. Fusik going to get knocked out of mech here. Doesn't have any remech available to him either. He's surviving as long as he can, but Meepo drops first. Fusik drops the second one, and now Valpo is really in a rough spot because 80% on point. They haven't been able to capture point yet, and this is it. This is the match point because SVSU is up 2-0 in the series right now, and they have 2 points. It's 93%. They need to go try and tag point if they can right now. 98, 99. They do get the contest, so now's the time to play. I mean, the gates are immediately open, and then Junker Queen ulta as well. The Death Blossom is going to be able to pick off 2. That's 3 down. All that's left is Fusik ult on point. There is only Fusik alive. Going to have to try and get the remech. Dodging around a little bit on the mech. Going to be able to call it in, but just dies right before that. And Valpo doesn't have anybody left up in a tragic finish. Valpo is going to fall to SVSU 3-0 in this first round of playoffs.
yeah, definitely rough. SVSU able to swap and, you know, have just the more impact out of the characters they were playing. Definitely need some work with the swaps that were coming out of Valpo. They were a little stubborn there, especially in game number 2. But great timed ultimates out of them. The turning everyone purple out of Junker Queen was always huge for them in this one. And then the Sombra pick, I don't know if that just kind of maybe threw Valpo off because you really don't see that. But the ability to kind of shut the ball down, that was working so well before. It just made it really rough, and also unfortunate that you had to kind of swap up your roles there for the first 2, and Fusik comes in without a warm-up. Atlas has to try to make the swap back to DPS after playing 2 games of tank, and I mean, he was all over the board with the tanks they had him playing, so definitely rough, especially when his Venture gets banned on Flashpoint. But, you know, it happens. Year's not over yet. Semester is, unfortunately, for them. But next semester, they've got the Missouri Valley Conference. They've got NECC again. They've got the GLEC. So plenty of opportunities still for them. Definitely not over. I wouldn't say this was a real showing of what they're capable of. I think it's just unfortunate circumstances that Fusik was feeling under the weather and could not make the first 2 games.
It happens. I mean, obviously there are going to be setbacks, but this is not the end of that team, right?
Yeah.
We obviously have next semester, which has even more games than they played this semester. I feel like a bit tragic how they went out, especially knowing how well they played over the year.
Yeah.
But definitely not the end. But it is the end, sadly, for this stream, at least. So thank you guys for all the follows, comments, supports, and likes. Thank you for all the support this season, especially through Overwatch as well. So thank you for that, and we hope that you stick around for next semester, and we hope that you stick around for the program in general, because obviously, you know, Rocket League is still going. We gotta cheer them on when we can.
Typically, that game would be Wednesday next week, but they are looking at a reschedule. So make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Valpo Esports, because one of the Rocket League players, Street Fair, is actually a part of the men's swimming team here. At the same time as being on the main Rocket League roster, and they've got a swim meet on Wednesday, so they had to look to reschedule that one. So look out for our socials to find out when that gets rescheduled to. Once we know, we'll get that out there. But yeah, that's it for us here in the booth tonight, I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. So thank you guys for everything, and we'll catch you guys at the start of the next stream.
See ya.